Then your internet plan says 400 megabits per second. Run a speed test right now on your laptop or phone. Odds are you're seeing somewhere between 80 and 150. That's not a network outage. That's not a bad day. That's just Tuesday, and it's been happening every day since you signed your contract. The gap between the speed you pay for and the speed you actually receive isn't random. There are specific documented reasons it happens, and there are specific settings inside your own router, settings you already own, that you can change in the next 10 minutes that close a significant portion of that gap. No new hardware required. No calls to customer service. Just understanding how the system actually works. Here's the first thing you need to understand. When you sign up for internet service, your provider usually ships you a router as part of the package. It feels like a courtesy. It's actually a product decision that benefits them more than it benefits you. The Wi-Fi routers supplied by ISPs are typically bare-bones models with lackluster performance and features. These are devices the company is shipping to millions of customers simultaneously. They're built to a cost, not to a performance standard. Over the course of 2 years, rental fees for ISP equipment can add up to $120 to $480. That's enough to buy a quality router outright. Most people never do the math because it's baked quietly into their monthly bill. But the hardware is only part of the problem. ISPs monitor the data packets that travel through their network using tools called deep packet inspection. This allows them to scrutinize the type of traffic, whether it's streaming, downloading, or browsing, and selectively apply speed limits to specific categories. Some ISPs throttle specific types of traffic. You might experience flawless web browsing, yet struggle to stream a video in HD. Time of day plays a role too. Many ISPs implement throttling selectively during peak usage hours, often between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m., to manage network congestion. As of 2025, federal net neutrality rules were struck down by a federal appeals court, and as of 2026, there are no enforceable federal net neutrality protections in place. That means paid prioritization is permitted. Internet providers can speed up or slow down traffic based on commercial agreements, and some services may receive preferential treatment on the network, so the environment your router is operating in is not neutral. Traffic gets inspected, certain activities get deprioritized, and the default settings on your ISP-provided hardware are not configured to fight any of that. Now here's where it gets useful. There are 4 specific settings hiding inside almost every router's admin panel that most people have never touched. Each one addresses a different layer of the performance problem. Together, they can meaningfully close the gap between what you're paying for and what you're actually getting. The first is your DNS server. DNS is like the phone book of the internet. It translates website names into IP addresses. Most people use their ISP's DNS servers by default, and they're often slow or congested. Every single time you open a website, your device sends a request to that DNS server first. If it's slow, everything feels slightly sluggish. Page loads, video starts, app connections. Switching to faster DNS servers can improve page loading times. The best options are Cloudflare's 1.1.1.1 and 1.0.0.1, which are the fastest and most privacy-focused, and Google's 8.88.8 and 8.8.4.4, which are reliable and work everywhere. Cloudflare's 1.1.1.1 consistently delivers the fastest connection times, about 8 to 12 milliseconds faster than a typical ISP's default DNS when connecting to servers. That might sound small. Multiplied across every page load, every streaming request, every app connection across every device in your home, it compounds significantly. The second is your Wi-Fi band assignment. Most modern routers broadcast 2 signals simultaneously, 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. The 2.4 GHz band offers better range and wall penetration, but more interference from neighbors and devices, with a max of around 600 megabits. The 5 GHz band has shorter range, but significantly less interference, with speeds exceeding 1,300 megabytes. Here's the catch. Most routers use a feature called band steering, which automatically assigns your devices to a band. It sounds intelligent. In reality, band steering can kill your network performance. After turning it off and manually assigning primary devices to 5 GHz, downloads become faster and more consistent, and 4K streaming stops buffering randomly. The third is your Wi-Fi channel. Your neighbor's routers are broadcasting on channels too. If everyone on your street is automatically assigned channel 6 on 2.4 GHz, you're all competing for the same airspace. On 2.4 GHz, you should use only channels 1, 6, or 11. These are the only non-overlapping channels. Switching to a cleaner, less crowded channel reduces interference and improves consistency. The fourth is your DNS at the router level, not just the device level. Most people change DNS on a single device. The smarter move is changing it at the router itself. When you set it there, every device in your home, your phone, your TV, your laptop, your gaming console, all inherit the faster DNS automatically. And you do it once. Every device benefits permanently. Here's exactly how to apply all 4 of these changes. It takes about 10 minutes total. Step 1. Access your router admin panel, open a browser on any device connected to your home Wi-Fi. Type your router's IP address into the address bar. The most common addresses are 192.168.1.1 or 192.168.1. If neither works, check the sticker on the bottom of your router. Log in with your admin credentials. If you've never changed them, the default username and password are also on that sticker, or searchable by your router's model number. Step 2. Change your DNS servers. Find the DNS settings under WAN or Internet settings. Enter 1.1.1.1 as your primary DNS and 1.0.do. 1 is your secondary. Save and reboot the router. This takes effect immediately after restart and benefits every device on your network. Step 3. Disable band steering. Look for band steering, Smart Connect, or Auto Band in your wireless settings. Maybe under Advanced Wireless or similar, disable it. Then split your network into 2 separate SSIDs, give them distinct names, something like Home Network 5G and Home Network 2.4G. Manually connect your laptops, phones, and streaming devices to the 5 GHz network. Connect smart home devices and anything far from the router to 2.4 GHz. Step 4. Optimize your Wi-Fi channel. Lab a free Wi-Fi Analyzer app on your phone. On Android, Wi-Fi Analyzer is free on the Play Store. On iPhone, Network Analyzer works well. Run a scan. It will show you a visual map of which channels your neighbors are using. On 2.4 GHz, stick to channels 1, 6, 10, or 11 only. These are the non-overlapping channels. Switch to whichever of those 3 is least crowded in your specific location. Save the setting. Step 5. Check for a firmware update. While you're in the router admin panel, then find the firmware update section. Outdated firmware can leave known security vulnerabilities open and can also affect performance. Router manufacturers regularly push updates that fix bugs and improve stability. If an update is available, install it. This is a one-time maintenance step that most people skip entirely. After these changes, run a speed test. Then run it again the same evening during peak hours. The gap you'll notice is the performance your hardware was capable of delivering the whole time. Here's the thing about understanding how systems work. The defaults were never set up with your performance in mind. They were set up for convenience, compatibility, and, in some cases, the provider's own network management priorities. The router in your home is your hardware, running on your network, serving your devices. Every one of these settings is yours to configure. The information to do it has always been there in the admin panel, sitting behind a login screen most people never open. Understanding the fine print of what you're paying for and knowing how to actually receive it is one of the most practical things you can do. If you found this useful, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.